opportunity to catch up with Salim Dhanani from BigPay in Malaysia. Salim, let's jump straight into it. Can you tell us about the payments industry and how it's developing in Malaysia?
Good to be here, John. Always a pleasure. Nice to see the EPA globally now. It's fantastic. So thanks for having me. Malaysia payments. Malaysia payments. So it's fundamentally shifted, right? Like, when we started this business in 2016, 17, there weren't many e-wallets or e-money players in general launching, large-scale consumer products. And that's changed. So if I take that question into two ways, I split it between what the consumers see and then fundamentally what's changing in terms of the rails and the tech stacks as well. The first thing is there's been a lot more players coming into the space. There's a lot more interest. And I think that a big part of it has been driven by consumer education and the consumers wanting to adopt new ways of payment. And there's been a wave across Southeast Asia, and Malaysia has been a part of that. So you've seen two things. The first trend that you've seen is the rise of e-wallets in the space, and those typically have been very transaction driven. BigPay for us, we went with the neobanking model from day one. So our intention was always to kind of build out multiple different products and services that would be akin to digital banking, essentially from remittance to lending. And I think the e-wallets themselves are doing that as well, right? So I think payments has always been something that was a way to capture the user, to get that engagement, and then build down. And in terms of the infrastructure, I think we've seen the new RTGS, rails being built out across the region, and PayNet in Malaysia has been a big driver of that, and that's changing consumer payments. So that shift over the last 12 months has and will fundamentally change how payment players and consumer payment players will operate. If we look, and it comes down to do it now QR and interoperability, the former being specific to Malaysia, of course, but it changes the business models of the e-wallets, and it allows a lot more inclusiveness and access for the tail of merchants that typically would not have had access to international card schemes. So overall, in summary, loads of people coming into the market. We're seeing that in Malaysia. And secondly, the infrastructure is kind of shifting and keeping up with it to continue that innovation. So, and that is, you're really seeing that engagement and penetration in the space when it comes to SMEs and consumers as well. And I'll pause there.
Yeah, no, it seems to be a lot happening, and certainly reflecting a lot of those themes that we are seeing in Asia, and more in particularly around the ASEAN region. So how is this shaping your strategy in BigPay around the ASEAN area in Southeast Asia?
Specific to payments, payments for us has, it's an engagement tool, as I mentioned, right? Consumers want to be able, it's a means to an end. It's a means to getting a product, a good or service, or receiving a payment. So for us, I think when we launched, it was very much around card payments, around international card schemes. We've shifted, and we'll do both. We'll allow for that interoperability. We'll make sure that the consumers have choice. And that is for the ubiquity of use. Like, people want to be able to use their product everywhere. And, a journey for someone like BigPay, for us, we're trying to become top of wallet for our customers. And being able to use it whenever, wherever is an extremely strong part of that proposition. So, for us, that's been our strategy. So when we look at, Malaysia and, do it now QR, or we look at, SGQR, or in Thailand as well with PromptPay, all of these things are shaped together that strategy of interoperability.
So yeah, certainly agree with QR codes and also those digital wallets, and really that whole aspect in the region of talking about interoperability, and as you say, some of those challenges about how to build out for that and to service those new clients. But what are the other challenges, particularly for those firms who are now looking at Asia, as an area of growth and they want to expand into? What would you talk about as being the major things you're seeing in the region here?
Thank you. Yeah, that's a really good question. So I think the first thing is that the market is fantastic. You have close to 700 million people in the market that are growing and becoming, being part of the middle class, that are underserved, underbanked, and there's a huge opportunity, be it through consumers and also MSMEs, to provide them financial products. When it comes to the challenges, I think that the regulations are not homogenous across the region. But having said that, a lot of the regulators, Bank Negara, MAS, OJK, BOT, all of them across the region are really shifting quickly. They understand that, and they talk with industry a lot, and there is a need to cater regulations to what, in the direction that financial services is moving. And so we're seeing a lot of that. So my advice would be that, have a look in terms of how it's moving, not where it is today, as there is a really good, kind of move to better balance safeguards along with innovation, but where previously it was just innovation or just safeguarding. So I think those are some of the good developments that we see, and opportunities, in fact, as well.
Yeah, I certainly agree with the fragmented nature of regulations here, and certainly we do see a lot of, and every day we're talking about this and trying to solve for it, and get the countries to lift the thinking beyond the sovereign borders, so that we can get better cross-border solutions. So definitely, I guess for those companies, again, when they're looking at the Asia region, coming in as new opportunities, what would you suggest to them about partnerships or strategic ventures with the local incumbent businesses here? What would you say in that respect as opportunities and suggestions you might have for them?
Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity there. I mean, quite frankly, there are two sets of businesses across the region. Some of them that have really capitalized on their regulatory licenses and really pushed out whether it consumer or SME products or even B2B products, and others that are licenses that are somewhat dormant and are sitting there. And I think that, be it that, or be it kind of companies that are ready to move to the next step, but with partnerships. So you have those that are deployed but can really level up with certain partnerships, or you have those that there's some good kind of, I guess, deeper collaboration opportunities, depending on the country and depending on the regulatory appetite. There's some big opportunities for companies trying to come into the market, and there could be definitely a faster way to enter, essentially. But I think the one thing I would say is that it really does depend. I think different markets would view it in different ways, especially when it comes to regulatory assets.
Great. And I guess on that theme, when we look at the region here too, not only do we see those opportunities and partnerships and so forth, but we also have a lot of challenges here across this region. It is fragmented. We know that. Again, for those companies coming in, what would you say are the things to watch out for, that you need to start preparing for as you're starting to make this journey out this way?
Don't assume it's going to be like Europe or the US. I think that each of the markets, it's one region, but it all has each country has its nuances, and I think it's not just about culture, it's not just about regulations, it's fundamentally about the geographic nature of these markets, like how you're going to operate your business in these markets. And I think that businesses need to be very, very clear about their target operating models and how they're going to deploy and how they're going to make the businesses a success. I think, you've been here, for a long time. You understand there's been a lot of businesses that have come out here and not really been able to operationalize or get to that scale because, perhaps the way people are interacting with certain financial product or a certain bit of regulation or a certain, there was a nature of the beast, essentially. They operate in a certain way, and you can't just, it's not necessarily just the same as, picking something up and planting it in the country. It has to be adapted, it has to be localized. And that really is the key for success, even when you look at the different countries across the region.
Yeah, absolutely. And those regulatory hurdles too, which you have to meet those high bands as well. So Salim, it's been great having a chat and catch up again. It's always good, and lots of learnings, and great to see the progress you're making in the region here too. So looking forward to having another catch up in the near future and hearing some more good news from you.
Thank you very much. Great to speak to you.